Here comes the Kingslayer.
I think the look of confidence on the face of Seth Rollins says it all. He is ready.
Rollins, one of the greatest of this generation.
The following contest is a steel cage match. Making his way to the ring from Davenport, Iowa, weighing in at 217 pounds,
Seth Rollins has made a career out of taking risks and seizing opportunities.
Seth Rollins has been a multi-time champion, a Money in the Bank ladder match winner, debuted as part of the Shield with Reigns and Ambrose.
Rollins thrives and is driven by people doubting him, by people saying that he can't do something. Rollins will do it just to silence them and smile in their face.
And his opponent from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, weighing in at 280 pounds, the WWE Universal Champion, the Nightmare King, James Mack.
Guys, I realize the title is not on the line here, but I don't think the champ can afford to give less than a full effort.
Well, then I've got some good news for you, Cole, because there's a better chance of Saxton scoring a date for Friday night than there is with the champ giving less than 100%.
Look out. Here we go with the steel cage match.
And man, I never get tired of watching these guys compete.
Hey, if Seth Rollins decides to burn it down tonight, hey, Corey, can I borrow your water bottle?
I'll tell you what, Byron, if you really want to stay safe, how about you leave the commentary table for the rest of the night? I'll cover for you. I got this.
That's a little extreme. Sling blade! Nicely done.
Slam down hard.
Before 2017's Extreme Rules, there were just 3 previous tag team matches where championship gold was decided inside a steel cage in the history of WWE special events. The Hardy Boys were in 2 of those matches. At Extreme Rules, in order to win the match, both members of a team had to exit the cage and have both feet on the floor.
The Hardys used their famous continuity to gain the early advantage until Cesaro and Sheamus utilized their devastating power to slow the pace of the match down. Both teams battled atop the steel cage, but in the end, Sheamus and Cesaro won the race to the arena floor to become new Raw Tag Team Champions. We talk about how important stipulations are in a steel cage match. If superstars sign a contract where the only way to win is escape the cage and have both your feet touch the floor, the competitors must have a plan. Especially since you have to be comfortable trying to escape through the cage door as you do climbing over the top of the cage and vice versa.
Ooh! You gotta believe this one's over.
Corey, you touched on something moments ago that's so important for the combatants in a steel cage match to remember. A superstar must be able to think offensively to figure out how they're going to escape the cage. They must think defensively at the same time so they can prevent their opponent from getting out of the cage first and winning the match.
Well, a superstar must become comfortable with escaping the cage by both exiting the cage door and by climbing over the top of the cage. They must also be aware of their attributes and what's best for them. Let's just say if you're a giant like The Big Show, The Undertaker, Kane, or even Braun Strowman, it's preferred to exit through the cage door. Seth Rollins got out of there in the nick of time.
They should count his lucky stars.
Bang!
Oh, he's able to reverse it.
He can't be happy with how this is going right now.
The amount of punishment he's absorbed in this match is absolutely insane. A lesser man would have given up and walked away by now.
He has to be disappointed in this performance. He really is so much better than what he's shown so far tonight.
This is what makes him one of the best in the business.
Oof! Oh no, we've got a problem here, guys.
No kidding. Who knows what'll happen next? The best way to describe combatants clashing inside a steel cage is its battle of attrition. Sometimes a superstar is left with no choice but to fight fire with fire and do whatever they need to do in order to win the match. And sometimes it comes down to a superstar doing whatever they need to do in order to survive.
Ooh, what impact.
Byron, you touched on this earlier, but it's so important for a superstar to accept that there's nowhere to run and nowhere to hide in a steel cage match. That the conflict will be resolved within the 15-foot-high steel walls that surround the ring. And that losing a cage match can mean much more than a mark in the loss column. For some, it has meant the end of their career.
It's difficult to describe the damage that can be done to a superstar.
Looking for the exclamation point. Seth Rollins needs to rethink his strategy because what he's doing now isn't working.
It just doesn't seem to be his night tonight, guys.
The architect is going to need a heck of a plan to get out of this one.
Boom, what impact.
Here's his moment, Michael. Oh, no, Seth Rollins needs to worry now.
Yeah, the clock's ticking on the Kingslayer.
Boom!
That's how you put an exclamation point on the end of a match, guys.
One more time.
Why not?
There's a certain feeling that comes over the combatants in a steel cage match once they hear the door close and see the official lock it. A superstar must know that their body is going to be thrown against the steel, that their face will most likely be raked across the cage, and that anything is legal in this environment.
Well, the idea here is to take out your opponent so you have enough time to climb over the cage wall and out to the floor.
You spoke about this earlier, Corey. It's crucial for a WWE superstar to fully understand the gravity of the situation they're in when they battle inside a 15-foot-high steel cage. An individual must be ready to endure pure brutality and be prepared for the fight of their life. No one leaves a steel cage match without scars.
Corey, you said something of value for once, and that anything is legal inside the steel cage. To that point, something else we've seen over the years is interference. Whether it's The Undertaker coming up through the ring or John Cena getting bashed in the head with the cage door from the outside, it's all legal in the cage. If you're an earshot of Seth Rollins, he'll make sure you know he's the future of the WWE. And if you don't believe him, he'll just tell you to sit and watch.
Nailed it.
Going to have to shake off the moderate damage that's been inflicted here and find a way to maintain the upper hand.
I have to partially agree with you, Byron, when you said Seth Rollins is the future of the WWE, but I believe Seth thinks the future is already here.
Without a doubt, Cole, Rollins is at the top of the class of this generation of WWE superstars. Some might think he's cocky, but Seth only sees himself as the man.
According to historians, the twisted metal that we see as part of steel cages today dates back 80 years. To settle a dispute between competitors Jack Bloomfield and Count Pietro Rossi, the two met inside a ring surrounded by chicken wire. At first, these types of matches were referred to as fence matches.
Beautiful technique.
Not so fast.
Nailed it.
Corey, you gave us an impressive history of the origins of the steel cage match. I'd like to point out to our viewers that from the 1960s through the mid-1980s, chain link fences were used to enclose the ring for WWE steel cage matches. A superstar could win by pinfall submission or by exiting the cage through the cage door or climbing over the top of the cage.
We should also...
This will go down as one of his hardest fought battles in WWE. And here's a look back at some of the action from the previous match.
Check him out here.
These guys showed flashes in this match, but flashes don't exactly set the world on fire, as these highlights show very well.
Here is your winner, the Nightmare King, James Mack.
Wow, now that's a commanding win.
At the risk of getting ahead of myself, if this guy keeps winning matches like that, we better reserve some room for him in the Hall of Fame.
It'll be interesting to see the fallout following this big